Melissa, Mellissa, Carone, Carone.
And tell me how you came to be involved in this legal action, what you saw, what happened.
Okay, so I was contracted through Dominion. Actually, it was through a contract company to work for Dominion, just to do the elections, do IT work for the elections. I worked a 24-hour shift on November 3rd from 6 a.m. November 4th till 6 a.m. Went home, went to sleep, came back at 10 a.m., stayed till 2 p.m., and then was done for the entirety of it.
Talk about what you saw that concerned you.
What I saw was complete fraud everywhere, fraudulent activity going on everywhere. I saw poll workers, counters, taking blank ballots, and if they couldn't read them, they would refill them out and sign the voter signature. That happened thousands of times within a 24-hour shift. I saw ballots being ran through a tabulating machine. Ballots come in batches of 50, and I saw these batches being ran through the tabulating machine 8 to 10 times, sometimes even more. The workers were not trained at all. I even had somebody working the night shift, in which I've known for over 20 years, admit to me that he was not trained at all. I saw people doing the adjudication process, which is supposed to involve a Republican and a Democrat judging each ballot. I saw numerous people and overheard them talking. They were both Democrats judging these ballots.
Sorry about that. Sorry about that.
It's okay.
What did you do when you saw all of this, when you were in this situation?
So, initially I went to my boss and I told him that I had seen one of the tabulating machines having a real high number on it. It should never go over 50. I said, you need to come over here. We have a big problem. And he stopped at a couple other people on his way over and was assisting with IT. And then he came over to where I was speaking about, and he saw the number. I saw the look on his face. You know, he couldn't believe it. He looked at me and I said, Nick, we have a huge problem. You know we do. And he pulled me aside and he said, Melissa, the last thing I want to hear is that we have a huge problem. And he goes, we are here to do IT work. We are not here to run their election. So,
talk about what your reaction is to the judge's decision today.
Well, I mean, I think that it's going to go further than this. The judge's decision, my reaction, I really don't have a reaction to the judge's decision. I figured that's what was going to happen. I was told this numerous times by a lot of very, very, smart attorneys, intelligent people. And it's going to go higher than that. The president said so. Trump said so. And my question to America is this. Why is it that only Republican people are coming out and saying the fraudulent activity that they witnessed in that TCF center? Why are these Democrats not coming out and saying that they also witnessed fraud? Because that's all that was going on in that place. If you're allowed on night shift, if you're allowed to come and go as you please and into and out of a ballot counting center, that's illegal. There's one count of illegal, you know, with ballots sitting all over. When you got two suspicious vans that pull up that, you know, nobody sees what's coming in them or, you know, being brought out of them. And one person, actually, that I know did see something being brought out of them. But, you know, I'm not going to go any further with that. But where's the Democrats? Why aren't they saying that they saw fraud going on?
Where were these vans, and what do you think was being brought in and out of them?
I know what was being brought in and out of them because I know what's on the affidavits. But the vans pulled in. I'm sure you've heard of them. You know, everybody has. The vans pulled in. They were initially supposed to be for food. The TCF center only had enough food for 1/3 of their employees. They're supposed to feed all of them. And it took them about 2 hours, day shift and night shift, to get the food in for the workers. These were normal size vans, and there is absolutely no way that they were holding enough food for 2/3 of the workers there. And nobody saw food being brought out. You know, I know somebody else, like I said, that saw something else being brought out, but that's not, you know, for me to speak about.
Anything else that you want to say that I didn't ask you?
I want to say that all we want as Republicans, all we want is a fair election. We are not here to say anything else. You know, we're not claiming fraud just to claim fraud. You know, we saw it. We witnessed it. These are things that we saw with our own eyes. And nobody would be saying it if it wasn't true. You know, we want a fair election. Biden did not win. He did not win. It did not happen.
I interviewed Chris Thomas, who was directing everything down there, helping out the city clerk, and he said that if the machines had counted ballots multiple times, it would have been caught over at Ford Field when they do their double checking process.
Well, you know, that's funny because actually I've heard numerous stories about how it would have been caught, and I've never heard that one. I've heard a couple different ones that, you know, the envelopes go along with the mail-in ballots, and they go to the tabulation machine. No, they don't. I never saw an envelope one time. Never, ever. What's his name?
Charlie Duff.
Charlie Duff.
LaDuff.
LaDuff. Charlie LaDuff was apparently a counter there. His affidavit is, I mean, just complete lies, claiming that he worked a really long shift. I'm not sure if it said 24 hours, but there was no coffee. They supplied no coffee. There absolutely was coffee. It was upstairs, and every employee in there knew about it. He also claimed those trucks never pulled up, those vans, that he was standing by the garage door at 4 a.m. when they pulled in. Why would you be standing by the garage door at 4 a.m. just for no reason? For what reason? You know, that's a lie. There's numerous things that in his affidavit that are total lies, and I would like to know why he got fired from Fox. Was it from lying? Because he's a liar. So you can put that on air.
What do you want? The judge said that, you know, the allegations just aren't credible because there wasn't evidence.
Okay. You tell me how there could be evidence when you're not allowed to bring a camera in. You tell me how there could be clear evidence when there's not allowed to be cameras in voting rooms, counting rooms. Did you know that? So you tell me how there could be evidence that's clear evidence. The only other evidence we have is what people have seen with their eyes, witnesses. There's over 234 affidavits stating that there was fraudulent activity going on in there. What other evidence do they want?
Thank you so much. Is there anything else that is coming to mind that you want to say?
I really want to say, I'm going to repeat myself. All we want is a fair election. We are not claiming fraud just to claim fraud. In fact, I'm sorry, but that's what the Democrats would do. And, Republicans wouldn't take an election and completely flip around ballots and sign other voters' signatures. They wouldn't do that. That's typical of Democrats, typical. Trump warned us about all this. He said this was all going to happen with these mail-in ballots, and it all did. And then Joe Biden comes on and says, oh, I'm the winner. And, no, you're not. You can't claim you're the winner when the states haven't even counted yet. This is crazy. Listen, I have kids, and my kids, I want them to see America the way they should when they get older. The way I saw it, the way I see it. And we will never, ever have a Republican president again if Biden wins. And that's what they're doing. When you
were seeing these concerning things, did you go to any of the people in charge there in the center and say, hey, I'm concerned about this?
I sure did. Oh, absolutely. I have his name, actually. He ran the whole election. Daniel, I'm sorry. He ran the whole election. I'm sorry, I'm looking through a stack of affidavits.
Daniel Baxter?
But yeah, Daniel Baxter. He was up on the stage running the whole election. Numerous times I went up to him and said, what are these blank ballots that these poll workers are speaking about? What are they? And he did not answer my question. He said, they're on that white table. There's piles of them. Direct them over there. I had to figure it out myself, what was going on. There was no oversight to those people figuring out. And
I was told by a nonpartisan observer that they had a big screen.
Okay.
Where you could watch when they were being filled out so that you could...
Absolutely not. There was no big screen in there. And let me tell you this, too. There were no bipartisan observers. There were they were kicked out the moment I got there. They said you're either Democrat or Republican. You cannot claim independent. You got to go.
They did have nonpartisan ones in there.
No, they didn't.
I've interviewed a few of them.
Well, they got kicked out. From what I saw with my eyes, they said if you do not belong to a Republican or Democrat party and you are an independent, you cannot be here. You have to belong to a party.
The law allows a Republican...
Well, there we go. I guess there's another fraudulent thing they did. Because I listened to it. I heard it. Daniel Baxter is the one who said it. So, take it up with him.
Well, they all said they were in there. I talked to them.
All right. Well, you know what? That's fine. How many were there?
I mean, I didn't count, but I've talked to numerous nonpartisan observers.
Okay.
So,
let's take it to court.
We'll see. We'll see that in court if that was the case. Or they're claiming nonpartisan when they weren't. But go ahead.
So with the blank ballots, usually it's if one's damaged or if it's a military member, then they fill them out.
No, these were ballots that were marked for Donald Trump, and they were turning them around and filling in Biden, signing the voter's signature and turning them in. That's what was going on. I know it was what was going on. You're never supposed to sign a voter's signature. I don't care. Hello. Were we not taught that in grade school? You know?
So when
plagiarism.
What's the process? What do you do in this situation?
What do you do? To be honest with you, the only fair thing I believe, which is already not going to happen, and I know this isn't going to happen. I've spoke to numerous attorneys. It's a very hard thing to get done, is a complete revote. But it's not going to get done. So, what do? You either accept a recount that's not going to be 100% accurate because they did fill out ballots and sign voter signatures. Explain to me why there's voters that are dead. Why dead people were voting. The first election we've ever had so many dead people voting. Should dead people be voting? Do dead people vote?
So, but what do you do in this process when you see these things happening? What would you do and what would happen?
What would I do if what?
What did you do when you were seeing the things?
You couldn't do anything.
I did what I could. I talked to my managers about it. I said this is wrong. I said this is I don't agree with this at all. I spoke with Daniel Baxter about it. He was head of the election. Night shift, when night shift hit, it was pure chaos. There was nobody in charge. It was these people were coming up to me asking me for pens, paper, everything you can think of, and I was running around like a psycho just trying to get them their supplies. They didn't have them. Like, they didn't have anything, nothing. But they did have coffee.
Thank you so much, Melissa. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good day, you guys.
You too, thanks.